Hey everyone, next we're going to talk about making rooms and then we'll get into quizzes. So let's start with rooms. You need a room just to organize your students, give them a place to go and do the assessments. So you click on the rooms tab up here across the top. And the first thing you'll want to do is to just name your room. So if you don't have a room, you can add a room. You only get one room with the free version, so I already have mine. I just call mine Mr. Howard FPS. It has to be unique, so like you need to remember, thousands of people use Socrative, so you might not get like the one room name that you want, but you just get something that's descriptive to your class and whatever it is that you teach, and then you can use that room name like forever, whatever. Next, let's talk about getting started with a quiz. So you can hit the quiz button here, or you can go up here to the quizzes tab and click here, and you won't have any quizzes at first, so you'll want to click add quiz to create a new one. The import, we'll get to that in a second. That's if you have a fellow teacher who has a quiz they want to share with you, or if you want to share a quiz with a fellow teacher, you would give them an import code and they would be able to use your quiz. So like the you are not an island. You have many people you can rely on, so you definitely want to be sharing your quizzes among your team in your school and across all teachers that you know in your PLN. But for now, we'll just add a new quiz, and we'll start by creating new, and that will bring us to a menu that looks a little bit like this. Alright, so once you're here, the first thing you'll want to do is to name your quiz. I'll just go ahead and name mine practice quiz. This button down here is for aligning to standards. So it uses standards by subject, and you can drill down as deep as you want getting into these. You have the Common Core standard here, and so on and so forth through all the different states that have their own. We do have the Missouri Learning Standards, so if you get down here, show me standards, all these kind of things. I'll just stick with the common here. And yeah, so it has all these in here. So if I'm using the Common Core standards and I go down into 8th grade reading, I can pick, I have now aligned this quiz to that standard. If you're into that, you don't have to do that. It's just an option. So once you've named your quiz and you have maybe aligned your standard, if you're into that, that'll get you down into the question types. These are similar to the quick questions that are on the front page. So, but you can get into a little more in depth with how you organize these questions. So again, you have multiple choice, but if you add a multiple choice this time, you will come in here and type the question. So, what is your favorite ice cream? Whoops. You will type in the options. Alright, so here are all the choices. Then you have the option to mark the ones that are correct. You can, of course, mark them all or one, whatever the actual correct answer would be in that situation. You can also add as basically, I don't never ran out, but you can have as many choices as you want. I mean, to the point of it being preposterous, you can have it be as many or as few as you want it to be. You also have the option of adding an explanation. Give them a little more information about the question. This up here is you can add a picture. So if I hit the little plus button, I can come in here and I can find a picture that I want to go along with that question. Of course, you'll want yours to make sense if you're going to use a picture, and you can actually make the picture be part of the question. You could say, put a picture up here and have it have A, B, C, and D. Which one of these corresponds to the which one of these is labeled as this thing, and then they pick the one that's labeled right, or whatever. Okay, so then you're done with the question. Whoops, sorry, I should have mentioned what formatting is. Formatting is where you can come in and you can change like the font and the text color and size and all that kind of stuff if you're into. it. I just leave mine blank this way. And then save. And so that question is saved, and this is what it's going to look like when your students will see it. Obviously, it won't highlight the answer. All right, let's talk about true false. You'll type in your question. You will highlight whether it is a true or false question. In this case, obviously, it has to be one or the other. We'll say true. Then you can have a statement of explanation telling your students, giving some clarification of what they need to be doing on this question. And then you can also add a picture again. Finally, there is short answer. Explain why chocolate is the best ice cream. You can come in here and add. So I'll just say this. I don't really like this because it's unreliable. And I feel like if you're going to use a short answer question, you need to grade it manually. But you can come in here and add correct answers. So you could do short answer and say, what is the best ice cream? You could actually put in chocolate. Okay, whoops, I hit enter and I shouldn't have. Let me go back. You can come in here and put chocolate. You could do chocolate because it is case sensitive. And if you think your kids might misspell it, you could say chocolate. Okay, and then what's going to happen is that we save this question, is when a kid answers this, it will check what they typed in to all of the possible correct answers, and then it will grade it. I don't really like doing that. It's unreliable. What if you have one kid that wrote it this way, but then you have another kid who spelled it different, or maybe they put punctuation, or maybe one kid didn't, or something crazy like that. And so the way that it validates the answer has to be exactly correct, and I think that's unreasonable for kids. So I don't like to do that. So I just leave this blank, and then I will grade it on my own later. So that's your short answer question. Your kids will come in and type in an answer, and then you will have a quiz with all questions that you have created on your own. You always have the option of changing the order of these questions by using the up and down arrows over here. So if I want this question to come up first, I can move it up to the top. I can duplicate this question. So let's say I did a multiple choice and I want to have a different version of that question, but I just want to change a few of the details. I can do that. Let's say I have a question that I want to get rid of entirely. I hit the trash can, and then it will ask me to make sure that I want to do that. So these questions, I'm going to say this quiz is finished, and I'm ready to share this out to kids, and we'll talk about how you can do that in a minute. Last couple things we'll discuss is the sharing button over here. So remember earlier when I said quiz, you can import somebody else's. This quiz's unique share code. So if I turn, if it's gray, sharing is not on. If I turn it on and I give another teacher this code, they will then have access to my quiz. They can take it, they can edit it, they can use it for their students as well. So that's the why you'd want to use a share code, just to share the quiz that you've done the work, and you don't necessarily need everybody else to do the same work. It's a good way to collaborate. All right, so that's how you create a quiz. That's how you get set in a room. We will move on and discuss sharing this to students, having them take it, getting the results, and running reports in our next session.